Hola. Oh,
Good
my
morning.
video's off.
Today's my turn to be eating on camera.
Yeah. Well, yeah, of course, of course. I mean, I've been taking that privilege for so many times. So yeah, you have to catch up.
So, what'd you think of our beta testing results?
From Olga,
hmm
I always listen to that, and I like. There's a part of that. I have such a huge issue with self-criticism,
Hmm.
but I always feel like people are being nice to us, and they really didn't like
Oh yeah,
it. But
I was blown away when I asked her how often does she think she'd use the app,
yeah,
and she said at least once a day. And I thought, I was expecting it to be like, I don't know, maybe like twice a week or
I know.
so.
There's
That's
going to be. I have a feeling that there's. I'm going to go on the record here and say that we probably will be able to sell the app. Usage is going to vary wildly.
yeah,
Like from vast majority are going to download it, maybe record a book and never go back to the app.
yeah,
But then there's going to be a core group of people who is going to be like freaking hardcore users.
yeah, yeah. Well, I think
Like,
I think our ability to articulate the use cases
yeah,
will be a key to how people engage with it initially, and
yeah,
then from there it'll be kind of like um it'll I mean depending on the age of the kids, but like kids like your son's age that can demand things,
yeah.
it's going to be kind of them pulling at their parents to want to use it. So
Yeah, you know what? I think I was thinking of actually it's nice that you triggered that thought because I was thinking of the A/B test of the sales page. And
yeah,
what occurred to me that a good A/B test would be is like A, okay, this is what I've created. B would be just a short, maybe a pictogram description of what the app does, kind of like here, take a picture of the book.
yeah,
Uh, something very simple. And then just cards of use cases.
yeah, I like that idea.
So people can easily identify. So no stories, no like a long verbiage. It's just
Yeah,
like this is what you can use this for.
yeah, 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 we should try that out.
Yeah. So I'll build that.
All right, before we get into that stuff, I guess we'll just do
Yeah. How's so? What did you get any feedback? Because I didn't see any comments in the group yesterday.
no, I didn't get any feedback in particular. It's funny. So what happened was, so I open up Zoom and I do the thing, go live, and then the Facebook screen pops up on my screen, and it's
Yes.
like I'm frozen, and there's a play button. So I didn't really understand why it was frozen, because I was kind of anticipating that it would be a mirror of what I see in Zoom.
Mm-hmm.
So then I hit the play button, and then it started playing, but it was like a time delay of what I was saying to that. So then I panicked. I said, "Oh shit!" And I closed that window, and then I thought, "Uh-oh, did I just like disconnect the whole thing?" So, and then I also had my phone on Facebook, and that was even a more of a delay. So live isn't um like there's a significant delay between what you're putting out there and when it shows up in Facebook. So um
There is, and that's why.
so I was confused by that initially. So then I just decided, okay, well, everything seems to be working, so I'm just going to keep going. So the first 2 minutes is me just kind of like panicking, and it kind of threw me off. Because I printed out like all the pages of the deck, and I put notes on it, and I was intending to flip through them and make sure I covered certain things. So I got through the whole thing much quicker than I'd anticipated, because I wasn't looking at my notes, because I kind of got derailed at the beginning. But anyway, it is what it is. It's the first one I've done. So
Two comments from a viewer. First, the notification of you going live didn't come in for me until it was almost 12.
Mm-hmm.
So I watched it basically all in replay.
Yeah.
The other thing about you panicking, and yeah, like the beginning was kind of weird. Like I don't understand what's happening right now,
Yeah.
because you're not saying anything. Even if you panic, I think that I've I think I had a snafu like that as well, because when the Facebook screen popped up, you need to scroll down to press a button. And when it popped up, I thought, okay, it's just connected. And then I wasn't even transmitting into the group. But your comment about you getting through faster because your content was absolutely fine.
Yeah.
I've never heard it before, and I thought you were going off script.
Right.
So that's just in your head. I mean, that it came across very well, but I don't know if it's the panic. It's
I really fizzled out at the end. It was like this crescendo, and then I was like,
yeah,
okay, go unleash your potential. Bye.
yeah, it felt heavy a bit.
Yeah.
Sorry, heavy is not goddamn stupid camera. Not heavy. It's because you're not upbeat about it. It
Yeah.
felt like, yeah, this is really serious.
Yeah.
This is really, really serious. And then at the end, go unleash your potential. Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was just, I think as I went on, like my internal panicking was just like snowballing. And then at the end, it was like, I just got to get out of here.
Bite. Dude, rewatch. Like, do you watch our videos? Because I don't.
No.
Yeah, rewatch our videos.
Yeah.
Like, why can't you be like this when you're doing the presentation?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm getting better. Like, I know my daughter watched.
You're leaps and bounds. Like, you watch your first video.
Yeah, my daughter watched my most recent Thursday Thought, I think from last week or something, and she was like, "Wow, compared to what you used to do, this is like amazing."
Yeah, your stories are really good. Your stories are really, really good. Like engaging and have a nice flow to it, so you kind of want to follow it. So that for sure.
So
it came across it like the material. Had you not told me right now that you like going off script, I would not have known. I thought it was very, very well done. But yeah. Why did you keep scrolling?
Well, on my so I didn't want to use PowerPoint because I wasn't sure how that was going to work in terms of like when you're in presentation mode and whatever. So I saved it as a PDF.
Yeah.
And I tried full screen, but even on full screen, when I hit page down, it doesn't go completely to the next page.
What do you mean? How did you go to full screen?
Like there's a button in the PDF view. I don't know if I share my screen here. I don't know if this will.
Let's see. It's Control L. I just know the shortcut.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I thought you went full screen mode like F11.
Okay.
And I saw you made a post today in Facebook from Canva.
Yeah.
How you'll have to show me how you did this. Okay, so how did you go?
Okay, here? So here on here, there's this.
Oh no, you're in the browser.
This thing.
Can you open it in Adobe Acrobat Reader?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah,
I don't know why mine defaults to this, but
it always does.
Okay, because I did this, and then like when I page down, it was doing that. No. So then I screwed around. And I decided like, okay, well, if I go to there, then it's pretty good. But then every time I'd have to bump it up, right? So
okay,
it was a pain in the ass. Okay, so if I don't know if I have
right click. No, just right click on the presentation. Where's the file?
Yeah.
And open with.
Yeah, it doesn't come up. It says choose another app.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I have it installed. I must not have it installed.
Really? Oh yeah, Reader is not a pre-installed app.
Yeah, so I'll have to.
Is there any PDF viewer you have? Not a browser?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. So I'll install that, but that'll make it so much better.
Yeah, and just okay. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, do you want it? So Canva, let me share again.
Yeah, Canva.
So when you first told me about it, I was like, I don't know. And then I was in there yesterday doing the designs.
Oh, you're making them pay for it, eh?
And I decided that
you're something else, Greg, aren't you?
What's
you
that?
know that you clicked on the ad, right?
Oh, I don't know. Did I?
That's why I'm saying you're making them pay for it.
Okay. Content planner.
Wow.
So yeah, so you basically do your creation, and you can set the calendar.
And text, eh?
Yeah. So if I did a new one, right? So I basically actually here.
Oh, by the way, another tip. So exit out of here for a second.
Yeah.
Just exit out of here. Go to all your designs on the left hand side. All your designs. So you see how you've created. So what now? What?
Yeah.
But let's say you wanted to stay with that theme. So click on that. Don't create anything new. Just click on this.
Yeah.
And then at the very top of your design, you'll see that little not the plus, but the duplicate. No, right above the picture. Right above the picture.
Oh, right above the picture. Yeah. Here.
Yeah. So yes, this one. Duplicate it. So now you have exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
But now what I wanted to see is, can you schedule just one image? Because I used to create images like one after the other, but this is already the Facebook size. Maybe it's a theme that you want to like a story. So you just adjust the images.
Yeah.
And you just keep, and then at the bottom, you see that little arrow pointing upwards, lower. Yep. Yeah. So this is where you can reshuffle them. And then you see that even lower on the right, where it says, first of all, the scale, no, on the right.
Yeah.
And then the number 2.
Yeah.
Use that. So this, if you're building a presentation and if you're creating slides, this is how you can rearrange the slides.
Right.
So can you show me how you schedule, like from this, like this image? So what, now what?
Yeah. Well, the way I was doing it yesterday.
Yeah.
Was like I'd want to create a post.
Sure.
And then I'd design it, whatever.
Yeah.
And then from the three dots here, you go schedule. So you can, or share. So share to the Facebook group.
Wow.
And then I can choose my group. And then I can type the text in here.
And there's the schedule button.
And then you schedule it for the date and time. And then you're done, and it's scheduled.
It's beautiful.
So I wasn't intending to do that, but when I started using it yesterday, it was so easy. And I already had mapped out kind of the post that I want to do. So my idea is every Wednesday I'm going to do my live presentation.
Yeah. And
then over the course of the business days before the next Wednesday, I'm going to have posts that relate to the content. So like that, this one is all frustration. And then this one.
Yeah, this like, I recall me raving about that. Oh, can you schedule Instagram here?
Yeah. You can schedule everything, I believe.
Really? They've built an Instagram integration?
Let's see.
Just click add on the date. Oh, you can do it from a calendar?
I don't know.
Instagram post?
If I go here, like it's got recommended Instagram business. I haven't connected my account. I was just doing the Facebook because these are just going to my Facebook group. I don't know, but when I'm going to start using this, I think for all my stuff. So I will integrate my like if I went here, it tells you what you need to do to connect to it. So yeah, it's pretty slick.
Wow. Hold on. And what if you go to this is me being cheap and never checking this out, because this is, remember how what was that social media scheduling solution I was using, and I was preparing images and then importing them onto
Sendable or whatever.
Yeah. Why even bother? You can create anything you want, edit it on the fly, and just.
Yeah.
Can you go home for a second? I'm just wondering, and pick a presentation. There's presentations. Yeah, talking presentation, for example. Just, and then present and record, like at the top. So what other options are available? Present and record, download, schedule, present, share, website, Microsoft, embed, email, Slack, share. So I'm just wondering, is there a way to go live into a Facebook group from here? Like see all? Can you click see all down at the bottom? Yeah. Facebook page. Click on Facebook group. Can you click on Facebook group? What does it do?
It'll post the video in your group, and you can publish it immediately, or you can schedule it.
Wow. So you can essentially go quasi go live. You can record yourself, because this will also record you, like with a little like if you click present and record right now, go to recording studio. I don't know if it's going to kick me off. Oh, it's probably going to say that your camera is not but you're going to be a little thing in the corner. So essentially you can run your presentations from here, record, set them to the 11 o'clock. Oh, it's not going to say to people that you went live.
It won't say you've gone live, which is fine. Like I was intending.
I was thinking, because you could monitor that. Because you could work with the chat as this is playing.
Yeah. Well, I thought about that. I had thought about doing that, pre-recording something and then playing it through Zoom, so that your attention isn't on presenting, but it's on managing the chat.
Yeah.
If people are
engaged,
are engaged and on, but anyway, Canva's looking like it's a pretty good tool.
It's a very good tool, especially with the
All right, that was my excitement for yesterday. But I had one more person, another ex-co-op employee of mine, joined the group today. It was actually a great way to start the day, because she was very complimentary in her message to me about how much she enjoyed working for me and what a great leader I was, blah blah blah. So it's like, hey, I wish I could start every day like that. and then I had another person who I used to work with at Loblaws years ago, who had open to work on their LinkedIn profile. So I sent them a connection request, and then I sent them my interview simulator, and she responded this morning too, and actually was inquiring about coaching. So I got to reach back to her.
Wow, you just like firing on all cylinders.
I know, it's crazy how much is going on. I just recorded my Thursday thought this morning, talking about how crazy things are. So I'm going through, like, I just relaunched Interview Simulator, Leadership for Teens. I'm working on 2 apps that are in testing. I'm just finished completing my Leadership for Retail Managers course. I just launched my Facebook group for Leadership for New Managers, and I'm just about to complete my coaching course. So there's a few things going on here at Team Unleash Your Potential.
Yeah, no shit. What's happening with the beta test with Jamie?
So yesterday, it didn't actually come up on the call yesterday, which was fine, because we'd already had like 15 people in the post.
How many
respond that they wanted? 15.
Wow.
So then he at the end last night after the call, he posted it on that same thread, just a request for me to post the link on there for people to register. So I did that, and I've already got, I'm going to say 10 of the 15 people, something like that, have already registered through my website. So now they basically went to a page, put their email address and their name in. They would have got an automated email. They're going to get another email on June 6th with the link to the app. And then June 7th to the 20th is the testing window. So, but I'm gonna build a sequence as well over the course of those 2 weeks that just kind of guides them through the testing. So what the use cases and things. But yeah, and the commentary on the posts have all been like, awesome job, very creative. This is great. So I'm
you'll be able to see how many people actually use it, right?
Yeah, I've got all the analytics set up.
Nice.
For it. So I what I have to do between now and then too is I got to go in and change the settings on the app to be private with email address or whatever that setting is.
Yep.
And then put them all into a user table so they have access. And I'm going to test that with my wife ahead of time and make sure it all works. So yeah, it's I mean, I'm hoping like the beta, there's nothing better for you know, propelling this forward than a really amazing result with the beta testing, meaning people are using it, people love it, etc. Like if you get an overwhelming response that this is great, then I think it'll really go a long way.
Do all of these, do all of the people, so who are the audience? Are they already, do they already have their coaching practices?
Yeah, I'd say the audience is kind of a mixed bag. There's some people that have been doing coaching for, 6 to 10 years.
Yeah.
There's other people like me who are just starting out, and there's everything in between. So it's a kind of a mixed bag of where people are at. There's some people that have, they already have like really active practices, so they already have lots of clients and things.
Mm-hmm.
There's other people that just have like a few clients here and there, and people like me are still just gathering clients. So,
well, then, yeah, it's great that you have people who are already practicing. That's going to be very, very good.
Yeah, and it's
if no one has a practice, then they might not use it as much because it's just not coming up as frequently.
Yeah.
But this is going to be fantastic.
Yeah. No, I think, I mean, for me, it's a great supplementary tool to the program. So
yeah,
I think I mean, and this is only scratching the surface in terms of how much content is on there. Like there's enough content to get a good sense for how it's going to work.
Yeah.
But there's so much more stuff that could be added to it. So.
And I was thinking again, thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was thinking that you remember how you said about drip content?
Yeah.
It's actually very easily executed with the calendar function in the app.
Yeah.
Because the sign up date.
Yeah.
And the dates from sign up.
Yeah.
So if there's a course that starts on a particular date, you set a calendar and then you do a math function plus with it.
Yeah.
It's no problem.
Yeah.
You just enable visibility of different objects.
Yeah. That's what I saw one of the tutorials or whatever on the Glide community that had they were just doing an equation between the date, so today's date versus the date they joined. How many days has it been? And the filter is if days since joining is greater than 10, then show this. If it's greater than 20, show this.
Exactly.
So yeah, it's lots of potential for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Anything from you before we reconvene?
I was actually surprised. I stumbled across. Apparently, there was the show Friends reunion.
Yeah,
something like that. So I stumbled across that, and I didn't watch all the way through because it turned out to be like a very lengthy one. But I did watch a couple of like little bits and pieces, and it left me with an interesting feeling. It was kind of it was almost like watching life from a highest vantage point you can imagine, just because it kind of all unfolds. Because here are people 17 years is a long time, 17 years reuniting after a 10-year stint working shoulder to shoulder like every single week essentially. So it made me think about, first of all things end, all things morph, evolve, and transform into something else. If you think you can hold on to something right now, you can't. And at the end of the day, we're still going down. Like it's just I don't know why it made me think that way, because it was it wasn't sad or anything. It was actually very lighthearted, but just seeing like Joey, Matt LeBlanc, how all of them aged. And yet they're still immortalized in that show because you can still watch it and you see them young. So it's kind of like, I guess what I'm trying to say is everything's elusive, and everything, whether you choose to believe it or not, whether you recognize it or not, everything continues to progress, evolve, transform. And there's some people say you got to live in the present.
Yeah.
It just seems like the present doesn't exist.
Yeah.
The present is every second is the past, because then another second comes in its place.
Yeah.
So you're inevitably always living in the past.
Yeah.
Sorry,
it's an interesting.
It's not a well-formulated synopsis, but
yeah, it's interesting.
And it kind of made me think about some things. Some things seem really important right now.
Yeah.
Give it a couple of hours, give it a couple of days or years, and it's going to be insignificant.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, that's a great realization, because a lot of us tie ourselves, or our identity. That's one of the things that I got coached on early in this course, was how I had tied my own identity to my job.
Yep.
And here I am without a job for a couple of years, and I was perceiving that as like, but the way I got coached through it was like, who you really are. It has nothing to do with what job you hold.
Yeah, that's true.
So it was, that your job doesn't, like, I'm not a dumb person because I don't have a job. But last week when I had a job, I was a smart person. Like, you're still the same person.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a cool realization.
About what is it now? 13 years ago. So I was still at Maple Leaf at that time, and we had an offsite somewhere in Vaughan. And this I call myself the growing up years, because I actually was beginning to think about, like, who the hell am I?
Yeah.
And this is when I read. Did you ever read Tolle's books? Eckhart Tolle?
No.
Okay, so it really doesn't matter. But there was a person that was invited to talk, and he was talking, and it felt like he was talking to me.
Yeah.
And I felt like everyone else in the audience didn't really understand what he was talking about, but he was talking about exactly the same thing. He was asking the audience to contemplate who they really were. Like, who are you? And he would be asking the question, and usually the response is like, my name is.
Yeah.
Well, your name was given to you by your parents.
Yeah.
It's not really who you are. It's the same thing that you're saying. Yeah. Oh, I'm a director. Well, no, that's a title that's bestowed on you by this work, but it's not who you are. Yeah. Well, I'm a father of that, but it's like, not really, because you were not a father a couple of years ago, and that didn't change. It's just like all of this stuff, and it disarms people to the point of frustration, because all of a sudden it's like, well, if I'm neither of those things, then who am I?
Yeah, what the hell am I? Yeah. Yeah. Well, and that's what's it's funny, because in one of the other coaching sessions, one of the guys said, he goes, why the fuck don't we learn this when we're 3 years old? Like, why isn't this taught to us? But instead, society teaches us that we are our clothing, we are our car, we are our house, we are our job.
Yeah.
And the truth is, we're none of those things.
It's true.
So it's I don't know. Like, I don't know why it took me 48 years to figure that out, but better late than never.
But it's interesting that even though so I found myself, so at the age of 33, I pretty much kind of established that, look, this does not define me. Mm-hmm. Do you think that let's put it this way, I don't think it had a lasting change. Mm-hmm. Because it's one thing to understand who you are and who you're not, most importantly.
Yeah.
But it's another thing to live with that understanding within the society of people who don't have the same context.
Yeah.
So it's great. It's great when you can completely kind of put everything. Okay, yeah, that's fine. I'm comfortable with where I am, who I am, and what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Because it satisfies my internal compass, let's say.
Yeah.
But it's not like you're off the hook.
No. Well, and this is the never-ending battle between, like, your intellect and your ego and who you really are.
Exactly.
And the conversation on Wednesday in our coaching call, there was one of the things about, they were talking about, like, you get fooled. Like, your ego is trying to keep things the same and keep them familiar, and your ego is a liar. and your ego doesn't know anything about the future, but he pretends to know. Jamie said, he goes, if the ego was really so smart, knew everything that was going to happen, knew the future, like did they a year ago, did everyone's ego predict a global pandemic? No, it didn't. Like your ego actually doesn't know jack shit. Is I think those are his exact words. It's our human condition of fooling ourselves, convincing ourselves of stories that make us feel comfortable. I don't know.
Yeah, well, that's a good version of the ego, and it does make you feel comfortable. Imagine all of the people who talk to themselves and talk themselves into a spiral of depression.
Yeah, yeah. But even that is like a comfort level, right? Because
I see what you're
it's
saying.
keeping you in a place that, like, it's hell, but it's a hell that I know. So I feel safer in this hell that I know than venturing outside of that. So it's pretty interesting.
Let me ask you a question. What was Jamie's pitch that made you sign up for the program? So what was that sold you?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the first
outside of the fact that you knew him for a while.
Yeah, the first program really. So I've had this lifelong eating disorder, let's call it that. Like I'm a very picky eater. And when I first got into NLP with Jamie years ago, I kind of thought NLP or self-hypnosis, these kinds of things would be kind of my pathway to getting to be normal in terms of food. And then I don't even remember how it is that I stumbled into this Facebook group that he was doing these live. He had a 3 or 4 day live thing that was like a feeder program to selling his course.
Mm-hmm.
And when he talked about the money, and I was sitting there doing the calculations between pounds and Canadian dollars, and I'm like, shit, this is a lot of money. And then he said, if you join up before the end of this call, you'll get a 1 hour one-on-one coaching session with me, which is valued at 2,000 pounds. And it wasn't really the value that got me. It was just, here's an opportunity to have one-on-one coaching with Jamie. And I'm pretty sure if anyone can help me get through this, it's Jamie. So that's what made me buy it, was that offer of the one-on-one coaching. Because at the time, like I ever since I started my business, like I had a sense that I wanted to do, I didn't think of it as coaching, but I was thinking more of it as like leadership consulting. But it essentially was coaching, just under a different name. But when, I wasn't sure how coaching was going to play out in terms of what I did as a business or how I was going to do it. So when I joined this program, it was more for the personal side of things. And then more recently, when he did the enrollment for his next course, which is the Clarity Coaching certification training, it was just like the I don't know, the awakening that I've had in the last 3 months, and the stuff I've learned and the things I've realized, and improvements in my own life. Like the changes that have happened in my own life in the last 3 months have been incredible.
I take full credit. Thank you.
The next course was just like, I want more. So I didn't even care about the money, even though it's even like a huger sum of money. I was just like, if for this amount of money, I got this much change, for this amount of money, I'm going to have this much change. So it was a no-brainer for me.
It's very interesting, because if I think back to the conversation about the cheese,
yeah,
nothing to do, like what you'd explain right now is a personal struggle specifically with food. Yeah. Led you down multiple different avenues and landed you in front of Jamie Smart.
Yeah.
So if Jamie is selling this as a coaching opportunity, you did not buy it necessarily for the coaching. At least that's how you explained it right now.
Yeah, no, I didn't. And it's funny because the food thing isn't how I found Jamie either. Like I get it. It's just the link that you make the link that people make in their head as to what they find valuable and for what purpose, is completely beyond sometimes the ability of a
person offering it to
Yeah.
comprehend.
Yeah, totally. Well, and I think too that here's the other thing that I've realized, like I going through this peer coaching and talking to the other coaches, like we've all basically agreed that all the parts of the course, the content and the weekly coaching thing with Jamie and all this stuff has been great and good value. The thing that's been the most valuable and life altering for all of us has been these peer coaching sessions.
Yep.
And truthfully, I don't even remember if peer coaching was even part of the sales pitch or even discussed as part of the course content or anything. But before going through it either too, I don't think I would have appreciated any kind of value associated to it.
Mm-hmm.
So in other words, when you survey people after they take something and say, what did they find valuable about it? My assertion is that whatever they say isn't what you can use to sell new people into the program, because they're not, when they're making the decision to enroll, they have not yet gone through that journey to even appreciate or understand what it is that those people are talking about. Like that's
a very interesting observation.
Like at the end, you say, well, this is what I got out of the program. This is, and then you say, oh, that's the cheese, but that's not the cheese at all. That's the cheese at the end after they've gone through their transformation. But you got to figure out. This is another conversation I had with another guy a couple of weeks ago, was because his niche is helping people lose weight, because he's gone through his own personal weight loss, and he finds that coaching through the 3 principles is a great way to accomplish that. But basically he's realized like he can't market his program as, I'll help you lose weight by teaching you the 3 principles, because people will be like, what the hell is that? Like, I don't even, like they have no context for understanding what that is. So he calls it the ethical bait and switch, which is, I have to market that I'm going to help you lose weight and do it in a way that is something that people are familiar with. And then when they join the program, what he actually delivers isn't like recipes and restrictive rules and things. What he does is he works on who you really are and how you create your experience.
What are the 3 principles?
Mind, thought, and consciousness. So the basic premise is that we all live in our own separate reality. That you're built for reality, and reality is this very moment. Kind of what you were saying about, right now is the moment, but 1 second from now, that's now the past, and then the next moment is the moment. The only thing that's real is the moment you're in, because the future isn't real.
Yeah,
because it's just
the past is gone,
and the past isn't real. It was real when it was happening, but now it's just a memory, which is just thought. And even in the present, you're not living in reality. You're living in your own internally generated version of reality. So when you realize that what you're experiencing as reality is a thought, is the principle of thought creating your reality in the moment, then you can recognize when you're in a pattern of thought that isn't productive, and the other part of it is like, what are your feelings telling you? And the metaphor that they use is, your feelings are just a pair of goggles. So if you're in a bad mood, you're just wearing bad mood goggles. Everything you look at through those goggles is being perceived as contributing to your bad mood. But if you're wearing good mood goggles, you can look at the exact same thing and it's perceived as generating your good mood. But it's just a feedback mechanism that tells you what kind of thoughts you're having in the moment. And then when you realize that, you can fall out of them and back into reality. So there's a concept of contaminated thinking. The more you're in contaminated thinking, the further from actual reality you are.
Consciousness is hard.
Yeah.
That's probably why they don't teach it.
Yeah. So it's
and consciousness also is almost like an antidote to marketing. So should everyone want to forego marketing, then you can get to consciousness. But
yeah. Anyway, it's
those are profound subjects, actually. Those are profound subjects.
Yeah. Well, there's actually, I'll send you a link, because there's a presentation that Jamie did that I saw on YouTube, it was a link that he sent out in his Friday emails that was him delivering like a keynote speech at a conference. And it's probably the best summary of the 3 principles that I've seen to date.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I don't know. It'll blow your mind. I think it blew my mind.
Well, you know what? This is not to be arrogant and say that it's not going to blow my mind, but like Tolle's The Power of Now and New Earth is exactly, is like, it just echoes exactly what you're saying.
Yeah. So the 3 principles, the way I'm articulating them,
Yep.
it's just a metaphor or a way to articulate something that we can grasp and understand. But the principle of mind, thought, and consciousness is like the principle of gravity. Like it's there. Like it's not, nobody invented it or discovered or like created it. It's just there.
Yeah.
So, like Newton or whoever discovered gravity, they didn't invent gravity. Gravity was already there. He just put a name on it and understood how it worked. And gravity just does what gravity does. It doesn't, like he and Jamie talks about, if you think of somebody who's a really good person. So somebody said Gandhi. He goes, okay, well, if I hold Gandhi out a window and drop him, does gravity care that it's Gandhi, that it's like one of the most kind, generous, I don't know, exceptional human beings on the planet?
Yeah.
No, it just does what gravity does, and he'll splat on the pavement just as if you held out Hitler or somebody else who was terrible. Gravity doesn't care. It just does what gravity does. Well, the principles of mind, thought, and consciousness just does what it does. It doesn't care who you are.
Or who puts a label on them.
Yeah. So like the 3 principles were, I guess, initially discovered in this context by Sid Banks, and then Jamie and others have kind of picked up on them and done their own thing with it. But yeah, so these other folks you mentioned, it's probably the exact same thing, just wrapped in other words and metaphors and things to try and understand it.
Well, and quite honestly, you're right. One, no one can know about this, but it doesn't detract from another person. Such as, for example, if you were to open GF Consciousness, a school for being a better person.
Yeah.
And you were to teach exactly the same things, just putting maybe slightly different twists on them.
Yeah.
It would not detract from Jamie or Tolle or any other what a society calls spiritual teachers.
Yeah.
Because you never heard of Tolle, you never read his books. I never heard of Jamie. I never heard him speak.
Yeah.
And yet you and I are talking about exactly the same subject.
Yeah.
It's just you're right. It's just the avenue to discover gravity.
Yeah, exactly. It's just it's universal. It's a principle. That's by definition what it is. So
okay, this turned out to be one of the more sophisticated episodes.
It did indeed. Must have been the UIP signal.
Must have called it that. That's what called it out. Okay.
Right. We'll stop this and jump into some other
Part 2.
stuff. All right. Thanks, man.